So the question I get asked the most is something along the lines of, how do I get better at filming by myself with little to no experience and just some basic gear? And the answer is, make a ton of videos. I learned everything by making fake commercials by myself here on my desk with just a camera and a few lights and a lot of improvising, of course, or by shooting cinematic sequences in my neighborhood and then sharing them online. That's it. It just takes time. I mean, it took me at least 2 years of making these dumb little videos here on my desk to learn everything that I know now. And it's still just a fraction of what there is to learn. But you know what? Instead of me just telling you what to do like I'm your boss or your dad or something, let me just show you. I'm gonna show you how I make a video, a new fake commercial by myself from start to finish. And it's gonna be a 3-episode series. This is part 1, pre-production and ideas. Then part 2 in a few weeks will be filming, and then part 3, editing. And maybe you can also come up with an idea and follow along, and then, you know, it'll be like we're making a video together. Yay, right? It's just an idea. Do whatever you want, of course. Okay, now, first of all, the easiest way, in my opinion, to learn a lot in a short time span is by making these fake commercials, right? A car commercial, a cycling commercial, coffee, whatever. And if you want to make it super easy for yourself, a tabletop commercial. So filming it on a table or your desk, because then you don't need a lot of gear and you can do everything at your own pace at home. You can even use your smartphone. No problem. And for me, how it always starts is I buy something new, a new computer, a bottle of rum, some candy, and I decide to make a commercial for it. And for this new commercial I want to make, it's my new shoes. Mainly because it's something I've never done before, and when they arrived, I already started getting a few ideas, you know? So pre-production already started from the moment I saw these shoes. Now, I used to have my own pre-production system, I guess that's what you can call it. Folders, text files, spreadsheets, hundreds of screenshots, and it was a mess. Look, I've shown you this before, but I'm gonna show you again now. If you're a bit squeamish, skip the next 10 seconds because it's not pretty, okay? So this is what my desktop used to look like, all the time. Yeah, I don't know what to say. And I mean, I always made it work, but it wasn't ideal. I mean, you can see it, right? But then a few weeks ago, and I don't know if they knew that I needed help, but a few weeks ago, Milanote reached out, asking me if I wanted to try out their platform to organize and plan my videos and my ideas. So yeah, they're sponsoring this video, and I'm gonna show you how I use Milanote now to come up with ideas and organize my thoughts and plan my commercial. But guys, and this is the most important part of the video, you can use whatever you want, okay? The most important thing is that you create something, and it doesn't matter what you use or how you do it. Just create something. But Milanote will make it a lot easier to show you what goes on in here. You'll see. Okay, so this is what I came up with so far, my pre-production board. But let's go over the whole process from start to finish. So this is where everything started, right? The product, the shoe, Air Jordan 1, Dark Smoke Gray. And this here, these 3 words, dark smoke gray, that's what sparked my brain into action. My initial idea was that I wanted to do something dark and moody with smoke. And so I started looking for inspiration and more ideas. That's always the first thing I do. I started watching YouTube videos, but also, you know, on Google, look for images, screenshots, photography, anything that has that dark, smoky, gray looking feel. And I've collected everything in this column here. See, videos. I can watch them right here. This one, for example. And these are screenshots and photography. Shoes, smoke, dark, moody. But it doesn't have to be just shoes, of course. This, for example, is a barbershop commercial. But it also has that look and feel that I was looking for. I've also added some random thoughts and ideas here. Just some random things that pop in my head while I'm watching these videos and looking at screenshots and photography. Because, and this is super important, I get most of my ideas while I'm looking for inspiration. And while I'm looking at all these videos and screenshots and photography. It's like a chain reaction. And of course, also typography is something that I already started looking at from the beginning. I drop some of the screenshots that I like on the timeline of DaVinci Resolve, and I just try out different animated titles and effects. And for these shoes, I wanted something with red, because of the red stitching of the shoes. And Milanote makes it super easy to organize everything, much better and faster than my old system. Well, that's not a surprise, but you know. It's all drag and drop, super smooth. Let me show you real quick. So my inspiration column, for example, let me drag it to the side and let's create a new one. You can find everything you need here in the toolbar. Just drag a new column, drop it, and give it a title. And then you can add some notes, maybe some ideas or whatever, or even a new board in the column. Drag and drop, and then open it, and then you're in that new board. And for example, screenshots or images, just drag them onto the board and Milanote will handle it from there automatically. Same with videos, just copy paste the link and boom, your video is right there. Okay, and then once I have a lot of inspiration and ideas, there's this column, right? Mood. That's where I put everything that looks and feels closest to what I want my video to look like. So that it's always visible and so that it keeps tickling my brain and my creativity. And the cool thing is that everything, the whole board and everything, is like a living organism. A living organism that's constantly evolving. Because remember when I said it's like a chain reaction? Well, let me give you an example. So at some point, once I have enough visual inspiration and I have the mood here that I want, I start looking for music, right? And I use keywords to search for music, you know, dark, moody, epic. And I look at this column here while I'm playing the music. And then all of a sudden this song popped up. And I play it. And I'm like, wow, that could be on the soundtrack of Blade Runner or something. But wait, dark, moody, smoke, Blade Runner, futuristic? So I started Googling Blade Runner stills, and then I saw this all of a sudden, and it all made sense. It all came together. Dark, moody, these red lights, which look like the stitches on the shoes. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Dark, moody, with smoke and red lights, Blade Runner futuristic. That's the vibe, that's the look and feel that I want. And so after that revelation, also here in typography, things started moving and changing. In the beginning, I had these two, you know, for the red stitching, and they look okay. But then when Blade Runner and that futuristic vibe came into play, I started looking for some more cinematic typography and titles. And then I found these. And see my notes here? Looks futuristic like Blade Runner, and looks like stitches. So it's everything that I wanted. And so that initial idea, dark smoke gray, very basic, evolved into dark smoke with red lights and that whole Blade Runner futuristic vibe. And the music ties it all together. And all this happened over the course of 1 week almost. And that's my favorite thing about Milanote. It's perfect for a flexible, evolving workflow, a living organism. Because you can move around everything at all times, you can add things, delete things. You know, it evolves as the things in your brain evolve. And then once I have like a pretty clear idea of what I want it to look and feel like, I make a simple shot list and a storyboard. Now, for a video like this, it's not a fixed shot list, it's not set in stone, you know. It will probably change while I'm shooting, but these are the ideas that I have now. I took some photos and see, I made some drawings on the photos. It's just some ideas for shots. And some shots are also inspired by what I saw in all those inspiration videos and screenshots. But it's not like a real movie storyboard, you know? And then here is a to-do list that also grows while everything else is going on. And this is all the gear I'm gonna use, but also the gear I still need to buy. Because when you're coming up with all these new ideas, it usually means that you're gonna need some new gear or at least some new accessories. And so this is all gear related, also gear research. Because for example, I wanna use a smoke machine, but I've never used one. And I didn't know anything about them, so I just did some research and put everything here. What type of smoke machine do I need? What works best for my video, you know? And then here on the right side, I already made a planning and also a column for later editing ideas. Because while I'm doing all this here, you also get ideas for editing. So why not just add them here so that I don't have to keep storing them in my brain, you know? And yeah, so everything you see here grew out of that first seed, dark smoke gray. Now, I made my own custom board here, but you can also use one of the pre-made templates if that works better for you. Or, like I said, your own system. The most important thing is that after this video, you get inspired and motivated and that you start creating something yourself. But Milanote really suits my flexible workflow, so yeah. Thank you so much Milanote for reaching out and sponsoring my video. And you can try it out for free, by the way. I'll put the link in the description. And let me know what you think about Milanote. Is it something that you would use, or do you have your own system? Let me know in the comments. But either way, I hope that I inspired you and motivate you a little bit to create something yourself. Also let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.